by a whole group of people. There were some other really strong people I won't mention, but I am going to mention 5 who were associated directly on council and now unfortunately have passed on. We had Councillor Maureen Seapold, Councillor Bill Sturgeon, Councillor Evan Sycamore, Councillor Jack Rock and Councillor John Allen. All of those people, although they live in the separate wards, 2 here in Tokoroa, 2 in Patara, 1 in Tirau, and could understand the parochialism. So along with others, worked really, really hard to bring about a unified council. And I feel absolutely certain that I'm telling the truth when I say that over the years I've really appreciated that people in the Tirau ward, just like people in the Tokoroa ward, in Patara, have been proud to be part of the South Waikato District Council. They really have. They speak up. They're proud. Not everybody, yes, and I'll say, you're satisfied some of the people some of the time. You'll never satisfy all the people all the time. But by and large, they've been proud, and the South Waikato District is important to them. I'd hate to see that lost now, just because you want to do away with the war. And it's not going to do financial advantage either. Another thing I've heard, sitting listening to the discussions this morning, it was also raised at the meeting, Your Worship, harmonisation and what that means. But think, please, of the total area of the region. The Tirau ward, to me, has always been a really great contributor and very worthwhile to the South Waikato District Council. One of the reasons being, it is very highly valued pastoral farming land, particularly dairy farming land. Some of the farms changing hands at over $70,000 per year, many 50, 55,000 plus. But the other big advantage, sitting around the council table or being on the staff of South Waikato District Council, is the benefits that what Matamata County did in part, your local roads were of a high standard, but more importantly, the state highways that don't require a contribution from the South Waikato District Council. You have State Highway 1, State Highway 5, State Highway 27, State Highway 28, that are all maintained today by the Land Transport Agency. Now that is a huge benefit to the coffers, because the capital rating system, the rates whether the state highway or not, the rates of the adjoining land still come to the South Waikato. So I think that is really worthwhile. And to some extent, because of the value there and the size of it, where the previous speaker talked about harmonisation, what it means, yes, but if you look at total rating, there's quite a large contribution that is generally beneficial to the whole of South Waikato. So I just urge that is taken on board also, please, when you consider as to whether or not you retain the review. The other that I believe is really important as far as democracy goes is that true democracy means everybody is assured of having a voice and having a say. Whether they get their way or not is not democracy. It's about everybody having an input. Sure, the Tirau ward may only have one councillor, but one councillor assures them that they do have a voice. I know it's been said, it's been published in the paper, it's been said at the meeting, there could be 4 councillors for the northern ward, or from what is now the Tirau ward. Look, pigs might fly too, but you've got to be realistic. Look at the population base. If you could use Tokoroa to be the South Ward and Patara to say that if they merge, all the councils come from the North Ward, it just won't happen. You've got to be practical, you've got to be realistic. I don't defy anybody, but go through the statistics, that would find you would get the domination that is suggested by, instead of it being from what is now the Batarian Ward, they don't come from the Tigo Ward. It is just basically an impossibility built on population. That could ever happen. So I think that's a bit of a red herring in the discussions. And it is something that I think is really important if you truly believe in the democratic system and democracy, that being assured of one voice in the decision-making process is really gives the best democratic outcome for the whole of the district, and has done a lot in the past to have the united district and the pride of the district that I believe we've been able to achieve over the years. The last issue was should or should not the community board be retained. And there's been a lot of discussion, not just within our South Waikato district, but throughout New Zealand, as to whether or not community boards are good or bad for units of local government. Look at the super city, Auckland, they brought a whole lot of community boards back when they tried to drop the number of councils in their district. So I just think that, once again, in discussion after the 2-hour meeting and other discussions I've had, people that in the past led business type structures in Tiwara today say there's not the will, there's not all the time by those that have led before, and some of those people spoke to me directly. They feel there would be no financial saving. It's already been said. It's rated over the whole district, sorry, over the whole of the ward, not the district. So the ward pays for what they got there. And if you look at the tariff, what the council pays for private tariff sorting teams, that is not, to me, the one other big advantage, and I guess I'll look directly at you here, Councillor McGill. One of the things about a community board is it's still a unit of local government. It comes under the controls, the rules and regulations of local government. Local Government New Zealand and the Local Government Act. Other structures do not. And in some areas, I'm not saying in the South Waikato, but in some areas, really running like, and it's very hard for the council to have control. So I think if you hear the people saying they don't want to set up another separate type organisation, retain our community board, I don't believe there's savings, and I believe it does give council some protection. Thank you. Council.
Mr. Blake, because you've had the experience that we actually haven't, you were mayor when the Kauri Community Board disbanded. What discussion took place within the board area there? And as that went, do you think, from your experience, having worked with that?
I was going to get away from that, your worship, because I know you and the late Liz Bagman were actually absolutely against community boards.
So how did it go?
And you went and you wanted that got rid of. And I wasn't going to bring that up because I thought it wasn't appropriate. You really put it back on me. So I'm going to now say that. And I don't know what the late Councillor Rolfe would have said that was here today. And he would have hit the table like this and the glasses would have jumped because he firmly believed in community boards. But look, it followed a democratic process. To me, following a democratic process, and that's how things are worked out, and people and trying to prepare us back in the right. What has been said to you out present? There doesn't appear to be others who want to set up a separate group. They say there's some group there because they're core activity. They cover the whole ward, unlike some of the other organisations that tend just to cover the urban area. It's the whole ward coverage, and they're happy to recover. I'll just leave it there.
Can I just ask a question? You say that the Patauri won't follow the democratic process. Do you feel that this proposal that we've put out, that we're not following the democratic process?
No, I think, and I praised you for doing that at the beginning, Councillor Shannon. I think so. You've opened it to submissions. You're hearing the views of the people. And that's why I say, you know, so many turned out at 2 out, obviously it's really important.
And the issue was that we were only allowed to go out with one